Hi, my name is Gary Cobb, and I'm a Senior Solutions Engineer here at Jitterbit. Today, we'll be walking through several flows focused on healthcare. We'll begin by pushing a patient from Epic to Salesforce. We'll then replicate that patient into DrChrono and have matching IDs between Salesforce and DrChrono. We'll then look at a simple API operation that ingests a patient, and we'll use API documentation within Jitterbit to create that patient in a database. I'll start here in Jitterbit Cloud Studio. And in the center, you can see our operation that's going to query Epic and upsert our patient into Salesforce. Before I run this, I do want to highlight that you have all of your connectivity components here on the right side. And this is all standards-based. So whether we provide the connector out of the box, such as Salesforce or a database connector, it's all going to be JDBC, ODBC, REST, or SOAP standards. And once you create the connection, you'll have the operations available to you in order to move the data as needed. Now, I'm going to go ahead and run this operation. And as mentioned, we'll query Epic and place our patient in Salesforce, which we just completed here. So now if we look at JSON and scroll down through their details, you'll see that we do have a space for our FHIR external ID. This will be coming from DrChrono in our next flow. And we have a checkbox on this patient, signifying that when we query our patients, we'll want to push them into DrChrono. So I'll move into our next flow. And here you can see our query against Salesforce looking for those patients with that checkbox, an operation responsible for pushing our patient into DrChrono. And then we'll take that DrChrono ID and bring it back to Salesforce. Again, I'll go ahead and run this manually. However, we can run these operations on a schedule. Those schedules can be as frequently as every minute. And as you'll see in just a moment, we can also make these operations real time. Okay, that completed. So if I come back here and refresh our patient, you see that we do actually have our DrChrono ID. And just to be thorough, we can certainly come in and find JSON in DrChrono with that same ID in the URL. So moving our patient across multiple systems is quite simple. Again, it can be done on a batch process, or as you'll see in just a moment here, can also be done in real time. So I do have our API operation here. You can see that we're accepting an API request. We're mapping the request into a database and placing that patient in our target system. Now, in this case, we have a Postgres database with a single patient, Jane Doe. However, I'm going to use documentation within Jitterbit in order to create a second patient, Jason Argonaut. So I'll go ahead and execute this in our Swagger documentation. And you can see that we've got a 200 code. So if I come back and refresh, you can see we now have JSON as a second patient in our database. That wraps it up for the demo. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or your sales representative. Thanks. Have a great day.